Okay, so I welcome you all once again to the second phase of the intervention, where we'll be looking at the capital reduction. Good. So first, we're going through set of questions known as iodine. So let's pick the question up and then let's do justice to the question. So this is the question. Now let's go through it and then you'll be fine. Yeah, you will be fine. Good. Good. So we'll start going through iodine limited. It's very difficult, very tight. Iodine. Um, good. Okay. So I'll start the reading and then the explanation. Please make sure I get every concept of the question. Very important, vitally. Good. Okay. So iodine limited is a company that carries business on distributors of music CDs. As a result of stiff competition coupled with poor management, the company has posted losses consistently for the past few years. The company has reconstituted its management team, which has put in place a new marketing strategy of door-to-door sales, taking CDs to customers in their homes. The new management believes that the company will earn average annual profits before interest and tax of 2,500 million for the next 5 years. Corporate tax is assumed to be at the rate of 25%. Now the new management team is proposing a scheme of reconstruction or reorganization to reposition the company and make it viable going concern, and has approached their bankers who owns 85% of the overdraft to waive off 38 million of the bank overdraft to save the failing company. However, the bank has expressed their dissatisfaction with the scheme of the reconstruction due to too much loss given to them. The company's statement of financial position as at 30th June should be 2020 as follows. So that is it. Okay, good. So now let's go to the requirements. I just read that one, then I'll go to the requirements. Let's start with requirement first. One, advise Natural Bank. But I'm supposed to inform you here that the banks is called Natural Bank. The bankers, the one who hold the 85% of the overdraft is the Natural Bank. They be asked by the company to scrap off 38 million of the overdraft. Good. Advise Natural Bank of its position in event of what? Liquidation. Its position in event of what? Or in case of liquidation. And explain whether to accept the laws proposed by the new management. What the new management is saying? They're saying that you have to sacrifice 38 million of the bank overdraft. Meanwhile, they owe 85%, 85% of the overdraft. Let's go and see the overdraft. The bank overdraft is what? It's 500. So 85% of this figure will give us, so that will be 0.85 times 500. That'll give us 425. Good. Okay. So that is it. So 425. So the bank has requested 38 million must be written off. But the company, the bank is saying that, sorry, let me take it again. The company has requested or approached the bank that they should sacrifice 38 million of the bank overdraft out of the 425. However, the bank felt that no, they are being cheated, so they will not sit down. So they have approached you. They have approached you, and then they've asked you that please advise us. Should we accept? What will be our position first? So the bank met you, and then as a consultant, and then they've asked you to now advise National Bank of its position in the case of what liquidation. So when the company collapse right now, are we going to recover all our 425? So based on that, and explain whether to accept the loss proposed by management. Should we accept the 38 million so that they will continue? Or what do you do? Good. So that is it. Now, this question is a pregnant question. It's in two folds. First of all, you tell the bank your position. So in case of liquidation, you will lose 1,000 Ghana. In case of liquidation, you are not going to lose anything. That's the first point. And based on that answer, then you advise whether to accept the loss of 38 or they should boycott it. Good. So yeah, they're just asking for statements of what? Liquidation. Good. Let me ask this question. Okay. So let's see. So that's the first part of the question. Then the B part says propose a scheme of capital reduction that will be acceptable by all stakeholders. And then finally prepare the resultant financial position as at year end, and then you are done. Good. So that is it. Just after the scheme has been accepted. Good. Oh, the sharing is gone. Okay. So that is it. Now, let's go through the footnote. Let's go through the footnote. Now, for the very first question, it means that you're going to prepare a statement of liquidation. And with the statement of liquidation, what we need is the proceeds because we are going to sell the assets of the company. And we're going to use it to defray all the debts. Yes, in order. So that is it. Now let's see. Now they will give you a failing company or a struggling company. How do you know that the company is struggling? You check the reserves. That's the equity section. Check the income surplus or the retained earnings. It will be what? Negative. Negative 7,100. That suggests that they are surpluses. It's negative. It means that they incur constant losses. So they are really struggling. Okay. Now let's see. Note 1. The following information has been made available. PPE in a statement of financial position comprised of the following. Have you seen the total here? That's the breakdown for a PPE. So if you go to the PPE, it's what? 4,600 million. We come here to, it is what? 4,600 million. This is a breakdown. So land and building, furniture equipment, and then motor vehicle. Good. So that is it. These ones are the carrying amount or the book values. So that is it. Now, the second part of the note says that it is ascertained that as at coming home, as at 1st July 2020, it's not reached there. That 2020 pounds, it's not reached there. Okay, by the time the exams reach there, don't worry. By the time the exams reach there. So, as at 1st July 2020, the land and building has a fair value of 2,500 million. That could be realized on that date 4,600 million. So for liquidation, you pick what? The realized values or NRV or the full sale value, and you are done. And then the values in use of the equipment and motor vehicle vehicles are 750 and then 800 million respectively. Equipment and motor vehicle have realizable values of 600 and 700 million respectively. So that's it. Now, although furniture and fittings have been recognized at its fair value in the state of financial position, their first sale value was 5 million, 500 million. Then the investment property of the company has a fair value of 2,650 million, but the first sale value of what? 2,300 million. Goodwill is considered to be what? Worthless. Good. And 20% of the trade receivable are irrecoverable. Good. So that is it. The thing is that you can only recover what? 80% of the receivable. Inventory can only be realized for what? 380 million. The recoverable amount of intangible assets is assessed at what? 200 million. Liquidation expenses are expected to be 40 million, while reorganization expenses will be 30 million. Preferred dividend are in arrears for 3 years. Good. The reconstituted management team decide that Iodine Limited should maintain a current ratio of 2.5:1 after the scheme of reorganization. The ordinary shareholders to be willing to introduce any additional capital necessary to achieve the desired working capital. Okay, that's it. Now it's come to the financial position. Good. Good. Okay, let's continue. Okay, so the first one, we have to prepare statement of liquidation. Can you see how you're going to prepare it? The statement of liquidation. And then what and what do we need to be able to prepare the statement of liquidation? So I'll do that one first. Good. So you start. Wow. That's very difficult. Okay. So let's see. So statement of liquidation. A. Oh, what's that craft? So statement. Let's go to top of it. So A. Statement of liquidation. So when a company wind up, in event of liquidation, what will happen to the bankers? So that is the statement of liquidation. Sorry, let us come inside though. Good. And let's see. Your currencies, they are in millions, so don't forget that these ones are in millions. We start proceeds. Now, for liquidation, you have to sell all the assets. So you sell all the assets, sell all the assets. So that is it. You will sell all the assets for liquidation. Then what do you do? Wow. Okay. Now, in selling all the assets, what are the figures that you need to use? First, you use the for sale value. For sale value. It's also called liquidated value. Liquidated value. It's also called break up value. So these two words are the same. Break up value. Then if this is not there, then you choose the NRV, the net realizable value. That's a realizable value. Net realizable. Value. If these are not there, then what do? Before you come and use the fair value, but please make sure that these are not there before you written the fair value. Good. So you can also use the fair value. But please, if these figures are there, for these three are the same. So first, second, and third. How we get it? Good. So that is it. So take note in the statement of liquidation. So when you go to the financial position, you pick the assets and you go to the footnote and pick them. Please, all these figures are in the footnote. That makes it a bit easy. But here we use some technique here. Good. So take notes. How can I avoid this shining parts? Okay. Good, 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 good. So now, what you do is this. Go to the financial position to avoid oversight. List all the assets that the company have. Yes, all the assets will be on the financial position. All the assets. Good. Game. Let's continue the game. So what you do is this. Just go to your financial position. Just copy the names of the assets. Copy what? The names of the assets. All the assets that you see in the financial statement. All the assets that you see in the financial statement. Good. So what are they? So let's go to the financial position. Now be with me. All the assets that you see, just their name without any figure, except for if there's cash. Except for if there's what cash. But don't forget that this PP, property, plant, and equipment, that 4,600, they give you the breakdown. So you have to go and list the breakdown rather. There's a breakdown here, so you have to use this. I just write land and building. So land and building, furniture, equipment, and motor. Good. So we've captured the three. So we have land and building. Land and building. Just if I don't write much, nobody will. It's very long. Extremely long. So land and building. And then we have what? Land and building. Can I just copy the name? Just the name. Furniture, equipment, and motor, right? Furniture, equipment, and motor. So, okay, someone have some notes for us, so let me just pick it out. Good. So, the proceeds. So, you write the proceeds, meaning how much you are going to receive from the sale of the assets. So, the first asset on the list is what? Land and building. Good. From there, we go to land and building. Okay. Yes, the Ghana series is with million, so take note, it's a million. I just now written it. So no, like this, no, it's not the same as this. So take note first, not the same. So as you have done it in million, you have to also raise to million, then you are fine. So that is it. Land and building, furniture, F and then F. So they say furnitures, and then what again? Equipment. And what again? Motor vehicle. Wow, they have asset too. So that is it. Motor vehicle. Okay. Good, 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 good. Good. Let's continue. Let's continue. Okay. That is fine. Okay. Now let's go and continue from the financial statement. So let's go up and go and list the remaining assets. So PPE, we're done with it. Investment property is the next one. So investment property, goodwill and intangible. Then you continue the inventory. So investment property, goodwill, and then the intangible good. Good. So we have investment property, investment property, goodwill, and intangible. Wow, that's a terminal. Goodwill and then intangible. Please. So that is it. Goodwill and then intangible. So you continue with the current assets too as well. Let's go and pick the current assets. What do you have there? So inventory and trade receivable, no cash. That's good. If there's cash, you bring it. Kindly note that. So goodwill, tangible. So inventory. Wow, that lets you. Then what? Receivable. Then you go to the footnote. Please, all the proceeds, how much they will sell the asset for is not on the financial statements. It's in what? The footnote. So go to the footnote, probably the profit and loss statement. What do you do there? You go and then you pick their for sale value as we listed at the section of the class. The for sale value, the calculated values, breakout values, NRV, and then you are done. If these are not there, then you pick what? The fair value. So let's go to the question and then pick the okay, so the footnote. In fact, if I arrange it well, they also arrange it in that order for you. So note one, you will tell me which figure should I pick. Yes, it's part of the game. So note one, which one are we going to pick to be the net realizable value, for sale value, or the NRV? Wow, I like that. You have to pick what? The 1,600. Good, correct. They said that it has been that the land and building has the fair value of this, and then it could be realized on that date for 1,600. So that's the sale value. So take note. Even if the figures are three, can you locate the for sale value and choose to Let's go write that one. So 1,600. Boom. So we put it here, 1,600. Perfect. Now, once you've seen it, you'll be picking it for me. Let's go again. The next one is the values in use of equipment and motor vehicles are 750 million and 800 million respectively. But equipment, so kindly select the NRV or for sale value, or please, this one is, you look and you select it, the correct figure. Good. So which one will be? Waiting. So they have relative values of what, 6 million and 700 million respectively. So for that of equipment and motor vehicles. So equipment is what I like that. Perfect. Wow. I like the answers. So equipment is 600, motor vehicle is what, 700. So equipment 600, motor vehicle 700. Now let's go to the board. Good. So equipment. What about the furniture? I've jumped one. You have to give us the furniture so that we fill in the, I like the answer. Okay, so the next one says, although furniture and fittings have recognized at its fair value in a state of financial position, their for sale value is expected to be what, 500. So for that one, is what, 500. Good. So let's record that one. I like that. So 500. Equipment 600. Motor vehicle 700. The level investment property, goodwill, and then intangible asset. Then we are done. Now let's go and see. Now they are saying that the investment property of the company has a fair value of what? 2,750. But the positive value is what? 2,300. I like that. 2,300. So I'm saying nice one like that. Goodwill. Dash. Goodwill what? Dash. So let's go and pick the intangible, inventory, and receivable. That one, let's pick them together. Good. So select them and let me see. Do the selection again. Okay. So what's the intangible? Inventory, and then the receivable. Okay. I like that. Trade receivable is what, 240. Intangible is 200. But good. So that is it. So it says that goodwill is considered to be worthless. However, 20% of trade receivable are what? Irrecoverable. So it means that only 80% of the receivable will be recoverable. So that is it. Then inventory can only be realized for 380. So inventory is 380. Then out of intangible assets, you can only recover 200. Good. So let's go to the board and put it down. As I've seen how we are picking it, perfect. Okay. So goodwill will be dash or 0. Intangible assets. Intangible asset is 200. Wow. This one on. Okay. Now, what about the inventory? Now, inventory, I can see 700. Okay. So, inventory will be what? 380. Good. Inventory will be 380. So, just record a 380 here. Hey, this one. So, 380. The 200 should be here. Sorry. Inventory 380. And then receivable. They say 20% must be written off. So you're going to get only 80% times the value of the receivable, which is what? 300. So the receivable figure will be what? 300. Let's see. So, and the financial position, receivable is what? 300. And they can recover only 80% because 20% must be written off. So this one box down to 240. So let's put all together. Then we are almost going to finish. Okay. Goodwill is dash because it is considered to be what? Worthless. Yes, goodwill is considered to be worthless, valueless. So there's no value. You can't grab any value from it. That's why we are using 0. Okay. So please, the total is 620 and so the total will be 6,520. Good. So 6,520. Okay. So you write distributed as follows. Now we have sold all the assets. We have 6,520. Good. We have 6,520. So if there's cash on the financial position, what do? We add it to it and then we move on. Good, 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 good. Now this figure is the total proceeds. Please don't forget that if there's cash, add the cash to it, but here there's no cash. Cash and asset, just that the figure for cash will not be in the footnote, it's on the financial position. Because if you have 1,000 Ghana and you are failing, you still get 1,000 Ghana. Like if you sell 1,000 Ghana, for cash, don't need to even sell it. We are just selling the other asset, converting it into cash, put them together, then we distribute it to the order. So this becomes the total proceeds. Then from the total proceeds, we are going to share. Let's see how you're going to share the money. This company is going to collapse. So assuming that we are the receiver. For today, we are the receiver. Yes. They've transferred all the powers of the directors in our hands. So we are going to sell all the assets. In fact, it's actually not them here. Then the total, so this figure becomes the total, and right, distributed as follows. So distributed as follows. Good. Let's share the money. Let's share the money. Which one are you going to share? I'm going to share this 625. Okay. But the space between here and here will not go there. So please, kindly, okay, I'll do one or two before I clean it. I think I'll bring the camera down. Okay. Now, in sharing the money, you have to share according to the creditors hierarchy. Yes, related in the law. Now, some of the debts or some of the creditors, they are senior, others they are junior, others they are subordinates, some of them are non-subordinates. That's secured, unsecured, those stuff. Good. So now that we have 6,520, we have to share it accordingly so that everybody receive what he deserves. So in sharing, you go through the 5 types of creditors. 5. There are 5. 5 types of what? Creditors. Good. There are 5 types of creditors. 5. So the first one goes to who? Goes to the person who have secured his debt against a particular asset. So fixed charge. So is there any debt with a fixed charge? So we call it first. The first one must go to liability. Good. The first one should go to liability with a fixed charge. Let me write it here instead. So one. Liability with what? A fixed charge. Good. So look through the question. Is there any liability with a fixed charge? It means that that liability was secured against a particular asset as a charge against a particular. So let's go and see that liability. How do you know? It will be in the financial statement, the financial position. They write the debt and they attach in the brackets. In brackets, secured on building, secured on property, secured on plant, secured on inventory. If it's not there, it will be given to you in a footnote. So let's go and check. So check first. So let's start from the liabilities. So non-current liability, 15% debenture secured on what? The PPEs. All the PPEs. Have you seen? Bank overdraft secured as floating charge. No. Now, if you go to the next question, Ebanhi, question 2. It was not stated in the financial position. Good. So for Ebanhi, you can see that non-current liability, 10% loan note, 2020. There's no figure there. But go to the footnote. Realize that the 10% loan note was secured as a charge on the inventories. How we get it? So if it's not in the financial position, it must be in the footnote for you. Nicely like that. Good. So take note. So here's a 15% debenture. Please kindly select the value of the debenture. What's the value? 5,400. Now let's go to the board. Everybody, the value of the debenture is what? 5,500. Now look at what we are going to do. The 15% debenture, we owe them 5,500, but they've secured it against the PPE. So whatever we realized from the sale of the PPE, we have to use that one to pay them. But now, let's see what will happen. Now, what's the composition of the PPE? You have to go and check the composition well again and see the demarcation where the PPE ends. So the PPE is made up of 4 assets: land and building, furniture, equipment, and the motor vehicle. So these are the PPEs. So all the values, so the proceeds that you are going to receive from this PPE, that's what you are going to use. Good. I think there's a question for me here. Perfect. Wow. It's 4,500. Good. So that's the value. Good. So now what's the proceeds? So let's go and pick the first 4 assets. These are the PPE. And let's compare the first 4 assets. Starting from, so this land, furniture, equipment, and motor vehicle. So sum up all the value, the proceeds that we receive from there. And that's what we are going to use to what? Offset the 4,500. Good. So I write 15% debenture. 50% debenture. That one should come to the first currency. So here, good. I'm going to record it here, the first currency. Take note. Now the proceed is what? 3,400. So how much can we pay them? Can we pay them all the 4,500? Even though we have like 6,000 there? No. For them, they have secured this debt against what? Against the PPE. So we can only pay them the 3,400 for now. Let's pay them whatever we had. So that the remaining balance, so remaining balance will be what? Out of the debt of this, we are paying 3,400. So that remaining balance of what? 1,100. So this 1,100, anytime you are paying the unsecured debt, you should come and then join the queue for unsecured debt. Yes, today we are the what? Liquidator for this company. Of course, we are the receiver. We are the receiver for today. For this question, the examiner make us what? Receiver. So that one there. I feel that one there the receiver. Good. So it means that we can only pay 3,400. But please don't forget that when we get to the unsecured liabilities, we will consider 1,100. Now, what if the amount that you received was, let's say, 5,000? Assume that after selling PP, we had 5,000. Oh, then that was the good news. We have more than they owe. Okay, then we can pay them everything. If after summing all the PP up, we have 5,000. Oh, then we can pay them all their 4,500. Come and take your money. Take it. And then the remaining balance, we just add it to the rest of the asset and then we share it. Yes. So that is, so these are the two options. Either you get more than the value, that one you pay everything. If you get less than the amount you owe, you're not going to pay all the money. I'm saying how nice it will be. Perfect. So now let's exercise good. So 3,400. That's what I'm going to pay them. Now what do you do again? The next one, there are 5 classes of debt. So debt number 1, liability with what? A fixed charge secured on a particular asset. The second one is what? Let's pay the cost of liquidation. I normally call it liquidators' money. Okay. Now the 3,400 is the proceeds made up of all the PPs. All the PPs. So let's sum all the PP, the money coming from the PP. So let's go to the question and then familiar ourselves with the PP. The PP is made up of 1, 2, 3, 4 land, furniture, equipment, and what? Motor vehicle. So therefore, the proceeds are here. Land and building have 1,600. So you sum all up to equipment. So 1,600 plus 500 plus 600 plus 700. Good. So what do we get? Plus the, oh, that's all. So this is how we get a 3,400. So that's the proceeds. So you sum it up to where? Here. Got 4 items. So this is where they have secured their debt against. And it gives us what? 3,400. No, I'm forgetting that the debt is 4,500. So that's how you had it, that 3,400. So take note of that. Definitely you see some in your question. Definitely there'll be some in your question. Definitely. That one is a definite article. Yes. Okay, so that is, now let's move on. Now let's move on to the game. This one is not negative. That side is not clear. Okay. So what do you do? Now let's continue the journey. Now the second one is what? Cost of liquidation. Cost of what? Liquidation. That's the next one that we have to pay. Cost of liquidation. So second, our liquidation expenses. Cost of liquidation. That's the second one we have to pay. I normally call it what? The receiver's money. No, if the proceeds, like here, when they sold the assets, if the proceeds is more than the value, that's the 4,500. Maybe they have 5,000 when they sold the asset or when they sell the asset. What do? You still pay them the full amount. That one, the remaining balance of 500, you don't waive it off. What do? We will just add it among the assets and you should pay the other people because it's not the only person that we owe. So if the proceeds is more than the debt, that one you pay the full debt, you bring the full debt. That's all, you are done. Okay, so that is it. Now let's continue. The second person that we have to pay on the list is what? The cost of liquidation. Any liquidation expenses, let's pay. Which include what? The liquidator's money, receiver's money. Oh yes. We have to take our money before any other person gets his money. Where we are not being able to pay the debenture holders, we are going to pay our money. Yes. In full. So the cost of liquidation is 40 million. It's what? 40 million for the question. Let's go and pick it up. Please take note that whenever they'll give you the cost of liquidation, also give you the reorganization expenses. So cost of liquidation is 40 million, which include the receiver's what? Money. Receiver's money. Good. Our money. Today we are receiver because we are creating this company. So 40 million will be what? Alright, 40, eh? Good. Like this. Because we are working in 40 million. We are working in millions. So take note. Now, this 40 million, if you don't see the need to know, these millions, it shouldn't cause any trouble. Have you seen the millions? It shouldn't cause trouble. Something like 2,500 million shouldn't cause trouble because there's a question here. Look at Ebahi. Yes, in 3 zeros. Look at how they did the thing. Yes, what? 2 billion. 0.9 billion. 0.1 billion. So the million there, we've not seen anything. Good. This one is 0.15 what? Billion. That is, this one is what? 2. So that is it. Okay, the cost of liquidation is here. This is the cost of liquidation, note 6. So check the note 6 for us. That's you see the cost of liquidation. Good. So I hope you get it. So that is good. So that's the cost of liquidation. Good. So receiver's money, second. Third, liability with you have a question, no. So the third one, you have to pick preferential liability. Preferential liability. So third one will be the preferential liability. Preferential liability. Any liability with preferential treatment. Now the preferential liability. What are the examples of preferential liabilities? Anytime we owe the following people, statutory owings. So examples of preferential liabilities are: 1, statutory owing. Owings. Then Example is good word owing to tax authorities. So income tax payable. That's 2, 3. Senate. If I owe you for Senate, it's a statutory owing. Again, if I owe you for wages and salary, it's part. So wages only for wages and salary. If I owe you the employees, all of these are all the professional liabilities. So you check the financial position. If you have any of them there, how do you know? They'll give it to you by way of what? Note. How do you get that? So let's go and check if there's something like that in this question. Professional liability. Liability. So you check the financial position. Go to the current liability section and check if you have current liability. Where are you? Trade payable. Current liability, you have trade payable, accrued expenses, bank overdraft is done. So there's no tax, there's no statutory. Or they will tell you in the footnote that included. I think I want to do that too. Should I do that? There must be 8 notes. Included in the trade payable, or the accruals, included in accruals. Let's use the accruals rather. There's an amount of 100 owing for tax and Senate. Tax and what? Senate made up of 100 million. Good. So in that case, you write that one. You write the tax or the owing to the Senate. How do you get that? Nice like that. I will now slow down. Yes. Probably to get it. Okay, now let's move on. So here, dash. Please bring it into dash. There's no what? There's no liability with what? With preferential treatment in this question. There are no owings in it. There are no owing their employees. So if they want to collapse, they should collapse peacefully. Okay. Now let's move on. Now continue from the other session. So I'll touch the board and continue because my board is full. So kindly copy it and then I'll continue. If you have any question, kindly ask. So the final question, I may add that professional liability of 100. I may add it to it. So when you see the final question, don't be surprised if there's 100 in it. It will just come here. Yeah. Now what that is that I'll continue, so I'll dash the board and then recopy the items back again. So take notes. So I'll start from the top. Come here. Good. I've forgotten the figure out. 6520. So what I'll do is to avoid confusion. And I'll write the total proceeds somewhere. Total proceeds. The total proceeds. Let me go here small. With the total proceeds, this session is not coming clear. Total proceeds continuation. It was 6520. Good. Good. I recopy everything again so to not cause confusion when we are adding them. Okay, now let's continue the game quickly. So the total produce was, and then if you listed, this is that write them again, okay, let me write. Liability with a fixed charge. We said that we have 15% debenture. I'll finish right now. 3,400. 2. Cost of liquidation. Cost of liquidation. Which is what? Cost of liquidation. And we had 40. The preferential liability. Preferential. Preferential liability. Now we said that, but don't forget that probably the final question I'll bring 100 then to add it there. So I can now take this section off. Good. Then you continue the game. Okay, so it's continuation. So liability with a fixed charge. Okay, so that is it. Now the next one or the fourth one is any liability with what? Floating charge. Liability with what? Floating charge. So liability with floating charge or floating charge liability with floating charge. Which of the liability carries a floating charge on all assets? Don't, it carries on all assets. Oh, that one carries a charge on all the assets. So let's go to the question and see if any of the liability carries floating charge, then we will do that. Good.
And read from the book of Genesis. We read from chapter 26 and verse 18 to 22. And I'm reading from the New.
So let's see. The bank overdraft secured as what? Floating charge 500. Good. So the bank overdraft. Perfect. So you are right. The bank overdrafts. Which is what? 500. I mean 500 here. Now, we are going to the fifth type of liability. The fifth type of debt. That's what? Unsecured liabilities. Unsecured liabilities. Unsecured liability. But before you go to unsecured liability, please and please again, add on and check the balance. If the balance will be enough to pay the unsecured liabilities. So normally what you do is this: add all. So kindly add all for me and let's see. So you add all so far and see if what we have now or the balance, the money left, will we be able to pay the remaining unsecured liabilities? If not, then we think of the next action. So you do the pro rata. everybody come for 10,000 Ghana. Or everybody. Whether your debt is 100,000 or giving you 10,000. Or you are going to prorate it. Good. But for examination purposes, you prorate. But in reality, it is the decision of the liquidator to do that. Because when you sum it up, what do you get? So that's 3,400 plus 40 plus 500. So you get what? 3,940. How we get that? Any answer for me? Okay, I've answered it then. That's fine. So you get 3,940. Take it off and know the balance. So you call it left for unsecured liabilities. So what do you think will be the balance? The total proceeds is on the top. Please, this one is continuation of what we did first. So you have to continue. Okay. So here, what do you do? When you take it off, please, what's the balance? The balance of the unsecured balance left for the unsecured liability. 2580. Perfect. So this one is the balance left for unsecured liabilities. So that's the name. If you want to call it a name, 2580. But please, let's do something here. This is the balance left for unsecured liabilities. Balance. Point 4 is liability with floating charge. Any liability that carries floating charge, you pay that person. And go to the financial position. Bank overdraft carries floating charge. So what do? We pay it first. So that is it. Now, is a balance. So this one we call it balance left for unsecured liabilities. Now let's go and list the unsecured liabilities. So unsecured liabilities. Unsecured liabilities. Good. Now what do we do? We are going to list all the unsecured liabilities. How do you know? They are the liabilities which we've not mentioned up here. How we get that? So liabilities that we have not mentioned them here. That is the unsecured liabilities. So you realize that the 15% debenture, it was 4,500, but not the 3,400. You only pay them 3,400, so left with 1,100. So you see 15% debenture. Normally, I normally write the remaining balance so that you go and pick the full amount. Remaining what? Balance. Now, when you write it, just write the name. So remaining balance is what? And please don't do any calculation now. You check whether the balance you pay them. Good. Now the remaining balance is 1,100. Now let's go and pick the remaining. What's the next unsecured debt? Any debt in which you've not mentioned it here. So let's go to the current liabilities. Okay, so let's do trade payables 1,200 and accrued expenses, that's 400. So good. So what do you do? Right, trade payable. Trade payable. So trade payable. The figure is 1,200. Yes, they are comparing something. Then you go to trade tab. Let me leave some space between them, okay? Then you go to trade payable. The figure is 1,200. Then accruals or accrued expenses. That one was 400, right? Good. Kindly sum up this for me. Kindly sum it up. So 1,100 plus 1,200 plus the 400. This is what you get. This thing, so let me just write it here. Okay, but I need more space. We'll do the working. So what do you get if you add 2,700? So can we pay it? We'll be able to pay that money, that 2,700. We'll be able to pay that money, 2,700. Hey. So we'll be able to pay, So we'll be able to pay the money. No, it can't. So it means that the funds left cannot pay the remaining balance. So what do you do? That's where in reality the creator will design a strategy and can tell you that come for 10,000 irrespective of the amount that you have. Good. So now what do you do? But here we are going to prorate it for examination purposes. Now it must be fair, we prorate it. So we are going to give everybody to the tune of what you have. So who can tell me? So if you pick the 50% debenture, the remaining balance, all what you do is you divide it by the entire debt left, and then you multiply by the funds left. So this is how you're going to share. You share it on proportion of the remaining balance, on proportion of the debt that they owe. So for instance, debenture 11,100. So I'll say, okay, debenture people, I'll give them 1,100 like this divided by the 2,700, the total debt left. Oh, sorry. That part sorry too. Go. Good. So assuming that for debenture, we can tell them that okay, for debenture, you don't worry. Come and take this. We will pay you 1,100 divided by the 2,700 times what? The amount left. Amount left is what? 2,580. How we get that? So that's the prorate. I like that. I like the answer given. Okay, good. Preference dividends in liquidation, no, unless it's on the financial position. If it has been recorded, if you have preference dividend, in which they have recorded among the liabilities, you have to bring it. But where they've not recorded it, although it's owing, but does not be captured on a financial position. However, if there was a debt like debenture interest, and then they are owing debenture interest that they are owing, then that one must be what? Captured. Good. In liquidation. Good. Yes, in the footnote, one of them stated that the preference dividend is in arrears for how many years? 3 years, eh? Good. Where is it? Good. Preference dividends are 3 years in arrears. Perfect. Now, in liquidation, if it is not on a financial position, I'm not going to mind you, except for if it is a what? A debt. If it is a debt, good. Now let me go to the question coming from Madam Ilian. Now, from the debentures, the entire debenture on the financial position is what? What's the entire debenture on the financial position? It is 4,500 million. How much did you pay? The entire debenture is what? 4,500. How much did you pay? Good. Okay. How much did you pay? We paid only 4,500 because the assets that they've secured their liability against or on it, they realized for only 3,400. So that's what we can pay them for the meantime. Later on, when we are paying the unsecured, the remaining balance, so out of the 4,500, we pay them 3,400. So left it what? 1,100. That 1,100 becomes what? Unsecured, and must form part of the unsecured debt. That's the 50% debenture, and that's the remaining balance. It's the remaining balance. Good. So that is it. Just that here it is not equal to the balance left. It's more than the balance, so you have to prorate it. So that is it. Good. I hope you get that. Good. So that is it, and then you'll be fine. And then you'll be fine. Good. And then you'll be fine. Okay. So what do we do? Let's continue the game. So with debenture, their debt is what? Their debt is 1,100. Good. So you take it and divide it by the entire debt. You prorate it. So that is it. So 1,100 divided by 2,700. And that will give us, someone give me the answer. Let me go and pick it up. Good. I like the answers. So the answer is 1051. So 1,051. So for the debenture, with the remaining balance, we can only give them 1,051. So times 2580. That's 1,051. So out of the 1,100, we can only give them what? 1,051. So it means that they will lose what? 49,000 or 49 million. Trade payable. Good. With a trade payable, so you take the 1,002, so to be 1,200 divided by the 2,700 times the 2580. So that is it. Good. So that is it. And then the accruals is what? 382 and accruals is what? 382. So that is it. 382. Trade payable will be what? 1146. So you can make it 1147. Let's round our figures to the nearest what? Million. So that will give us good. So 1147. What about accruals? So can you try the accruals? Can you try the accruals and then let's see. Okay, 382. Perfect. So accruals will be out of their 400 debts, let's share a proportion because the money will not be enough. Today we are receiver times the 2580. Yes, for today, the examiner make us what to be a receiver or we are financial consultant. That's the 382. I hope you get that. Oh, that is not coming over. Sorry, that bit is not coming. I guess how long this question is. You've cleaned the board. This is the second time, still not coming. Oh, yeah. So 382. We are done. That's all for the liabilities. And you sum it up. Good. So that is it. Okay, so the total, definitely, it should be equal to this because that's what we are sharing. Are we saying? So the total, we should not worry much. So you push it here, 28, sorry, to be 2580. You put it in bracket. Then you subtract whatever remains. The 1,200 is the trade payable figure on the financial position. Trade payable 1,200. Trade payable is here. 1,200. Accrued expenses is 400, and then bank overdraft is what? 500. How we get that? Good. So that's why we get the figures. Good. So that is it. How we get that? Perfect. So the 1,200 is your position. And then we cannot pay them the amount. And then that figure is coming from where? The financial position. You cannot pay them. So they should take this. Now let's continue the game. Let me bring this thing down small. Good. Now you write here available for ordinary and then the preference shareholders. So available for ordinary and preference shareholders. So available at 2,700 here. Okay. But let me see if I can pick it up. And then so they're available for ordinary and then the preference shareholders. So that is it. Good. So let's put it down. So available. For who? Ordinary and the preference shareholders. Ordinary and preference shareholders. But here there's nothing there, so dash. So I think that both ordinary and preference shareholders, they will get to what? Nothing upon liquidation. Now let's move on. Good. Now you write preferences. In fact, these ordinary share and preferences we have senior inside. Oh yes. Ordinary share and preferences that's what senior. So it's a preference shares. So what's their own? Preference shares. If there's some remain, if some of the money It's still there. What do? Now let's give it to the preferentials. So that if there's amount, bring it here, put it in brackets. Good. Whatever remains, we are giving it to what? The ordinary shareholders. So you underline it nicely like this and write what? The ordinary shareholders. So yes, shareholders. Then good. The ordinary share. Holders. For them, they are not getting anything. So down to dash, you are done. Ordinary shareholders, they are not getting anything. Even preference shareholders are not even getting 1 peso. And then the ordinary shareholders. So that is it. So receiver will get his money, but the shareholders will not get their money. Not even the payables. So please, if you have any question, kindly ask before. Now this is the end of the statement of liquidation. Very long. I pray hard that your exam question will be long like this. Okay, the 2,700 is the addition of the debt. Have you seen that? I started writing this here. What's the balance? It's 1,100, right? Trade payable, what's their figure? 1,200, right? Accruals, what's that money? 400. Putting it together is 2,700. Perfect. So that's how you get the 2,700. So that's why we have to prorate it. So you pick this one, divide it by this times the figure. Pick this one, divide it by what? This times the figure. Pick this one, divide by this times the figure. Then you are done. How do we get that? So that is it. Good. So we are done. But please, I'll pick some figures from you. We now have to analyze and tell the position of the bank because we've not even solved the question. No, not even started the question. We've not even started the game. I've not started the game. But don't forget that the question is asking us to advise Natural Bank. The bank is Natural. Advise Natural Bank on its position. So we've not even analyzed its position. So let's go and do the analysis. So we call it loss per liquidation. So we are going to drop a nice table and then release the loss per liquidation. Loss per liquidation. So loss per liquidation. Good. So now let's go on to the analysis. I normally put them in a nice table. So let's see how you do it. Okay. And everybody will be fine. I think today the network is stable. So we can do more. Okay, something need to going, that is gone. So take notes. Okay, please. And please again. Just let's do the question with serious. Now let's see. So we will call it's part of the A. So the A we are not done. So it's the loss per what? Liquidation. Loss per liquidation. So this is how each of the key stakeholders. Even though they ask us for only bank, please try and do for all. Oh, sorry, that part is not coming in. So sorry. Wait, this camera, it's still not coming. Ah, let's stop much. Okay. Let me see here. It's not coming. Here, it's not coming. Okay, yeah. Here to be too small for me. Too small for me. It's coming. Still the same. Okay. Loss per liquidation. Here you see. Go to loss per what? Liquidation. Now here, even though they ask for only BAM, have you seen the question? Let me go there again. Please, even though the question said analyze, advise National Bank on its position in case of liquidation. Please, yeah, analyze all of them, okay? Go, analyze all of them because you need it for future reference. Good, so these are the grades. The stakeholder. Then position before, position after, then loss per liquidation. Have you seen? Very nice slide. Stakeholder. Key stakeholders. So bring all the key stakeholders. Well, again, key ones, not all of them, but key stakeholders. List their position before. It means that before liquidation. How do you get that? They are the balance sheet items. How do you get that? And then the position after. They are the liquidated figures. Balance sheet figures or the carrying amount. Liquidated figures. And then loss per what? Liquidation. Loss per liquidation. So let's start. Listen to the key stakeholders. Ordinary shareholders. Don't forget. They are very key. Okay, how much are they losing? Preference shareholders. How much are they losing? Who again? 15% debentures. The debenture holders. How much are they losing? Who again? Bank overdraft. Wow. Yes. So this one, yeah, pay maximum attention because that's the main central focus. So you can even bring that one first. But if it asks you that, determine the amount that the bank overdraft, determine the bank overdraft position. So this will be their position. How do you get that? Good. So from bank overdraft, where do we go to? Trade payable, Trade payable, yes. The suppliers. From there, where do you go to? All the key stakeholders. Where again, Grab? Accruers, yes, those people too, they're also key. We owe them. Where again? Cost of liquidation, receiver. No, receiver is not a key stakeholder. Receiver is not a key stakeholder, so shouldn't bring cost of liquidation. Where again? Preference dividend in arrears. Well, we can bring it here, but preference dividend in arrears, but I don't want to tackle that one here. Good. So have you seen? So here it means that we are analyzing everybody's position. We are going to analyze everybody, all the key stakeholders. Have you seen? Unlike where they ask you to analyze only the bank. So that is it. So what's the position after and position before? So position before is the balance sheet. So let's go to the balance sheet and pick all their values. So before the company will be liquidated, what's their position? What's these stakeholders, their position, their value that they have, their investment? Before the bank collapse, how much do you have there? Or before the financial institution collapse, how much do you have there? So that's it. And then after, how much they give it to you? So how much have you probably sacrificed to them? Yes. So that's then let's go and pick it up. So kindly be with us and then let's pick the figures together. Okay. Ordinary shares, they are 8,000, right? So 8,000. Preferences, yes, that's not bring preference. Okay, it's there. Preferences 1,005. Good. So ordinary share will be what? 8,000. Ordinary share, their position before is 8,000. Preference shares, their position before is 1,005. Go again. Now let's move on. 15% debenture, what's their position before? Their position before. So let's see. Good. 15% debenture, 4,500. And then the current liabilities. We'll pick all these figures. Good. So I think the figures are there. Good, perfect. 4,500. So 15% debentures, their position before is 4,500. Bank overdraft, their position before 500. Trade payable is 1,200. Coming from the financial position, accrual 400. We are done. What's their position after? The liquidation value. How much do you give it to them? So ordinary shareholders, how much did you pay them? You can tell me. Ordinary shareholders, how much did you give it to them? Upon liquidation, the ordinary shareholders, how much did you give it to them? How much did you state that they will recover upon liquidation? So ordinary shareholders. Dash. I like that. So ordinary shareholders, they lose everything. So they lost everything, all their investment. Or you can put 0 there. Their position after liquidation is what? 0. So what's the loss? Okay, we come to that. What about preference shares? Around 0 or dash. Their position after is what? 0. So total loss. Good. What about the 15% debenture? Look at them with their position after. How much are you giving to them? Total amount given to the 15% debentures. You are giving them 10,551. No, it appeared 2 times. Go to the top. Liability with what? With fixed charge. First of all, we gave them a fixed charge of what? 3,400, right? Plus the time that you are paying the unsecured debt. That's what? 1,051. So it ought to be 4,451, right? So that's the amount that you are going to pay them. Perfect. Good. So their position will be 4,451 afterwards upon liquidation. Now, what about bank overdraft? Where, in fact, they are the center for this question. They are the center for this question. This is the solution. This is the solution. The analysis. Analyze their position. We're analyzing what will happen to them upon liquidation. What they did first there, we are just finding what they will get. So bank overdraft, how much are you giving to them? Upon liquidation, how much are they getting? Bank overdraft. Can you let me know how much are they getting? Bank overdraft. Can you let me know how much we are giving to them for the bank overdraft? How much? Good. I want to answer from everybody. It's 500. Perfect. You are giving them 500. I like that. Now, trade payables. How much are we giving them? The payables. How much are they getting upon liquidation? Upon liquidation, 1,147. Perfect. What about the accruals? How much are you giving them? The accruals, the good that we owe. 382. Perfect. I'll give them 382. Good. So in all, how much are they going to lose? Each of them. So you have to now list. Loss per liquidation. So if they should. Now, this is how much they are giving you. So loss per liquidation. Ordinary shareholders, they will lose everything. They will not even get 1 peso. So they are losing all their investments. Preference shareholders, they're also losing everything. Also, there's also losing on everything. Then the venture, how much are they losing? 49. How we get that? Now, bank overdraft, how much are they losing? How much are they losing? How much are they losing? Natural bank. Good, they are losing 0. They are not losing anything. Sure. If that's a thing. Even the venture holders, they thought they are wise. They put their debt on the PPE. They got that. They place it on all the assets and then they no lose. So, what about trade payable? How much are they losing? Trade payable, how much are they losing? Trade payable, please, how much are they losing? They will lose, you can tell me. Please, you are solving the question. 53, good. You are losing 53 series. What about accruals? How much are they losing? Accruals, how much are they losing? Good. Accruals, how much are they losing? Oh, they're just losing 18 million. Oh, why somebody is losing 800 million? You are losing 18 million. Oh, then let's go and sleep well. These are the owners of the institution. They will lose much. Okay. So now, first of all, the question says we should analyze the position of the bank. So the position of the bank, they are the one that gave what? The overdraft. Agreed. Yes, they give the overdraft. They are not going to lose 1 peso of their investment. They'll get their money intact upon liquidation. They'll get their money. So upon liquidation, the bank, natural bank, will get all their money in the form of the overdraft. How we get, so that's the analysis. Natural bank will not lose anything. They'll get their money intact upon liquidation. Now, in exams, you may be required to analyze the position of any of the stakeholders or all of them. What you've done is we have analyzed all the stakeholders, but it may be specific. But to avoid trouble, we do this and then you write it. Good. Now, there was a section to the question. The question is in 2 folds. Now, you say what? First of all, advise Natural Bank of its position. Okay, they should relax. They should sleep. When they sleep, they should sleep. Yes, sound one. Why? Because their position, they have a safe position, so they should just relax. In liquidation, they'll get all their money, not even 1 peso. And explain whether to accept the loss proposed by the sacrifice proposed by the new management. What's the new loss? What's the new management? Now the management team is saying that okay, now the management team is saying that the bank should sacrifice and waive off 38 million of the overdraft to save the company. So that's why the bank have run away to you that please advise us. What do we do? First of all, tell us what will happen to us when we go for liquidation. So the bank have run to you. Good. Now, before I come to that question, the selection of the stakeholder. Yes, someone's asking for how do we select the stakeholders. Good. The selection of the stakeholders is like this. 1, you pick the equity holders first. Equity holders. These are the 2 equity holders. Equity. So go to the equity. Do you see ordinary shareholders and the preference shareholders? These are the key stakeholders. Then what again? all the liabilities, both current and non-current. So that's the stakeholders. That's the key stakeholders. Or go to your this thing, the liquidation statement, the statement of liquidation, and then you list all the people or all the shareholders. Then you are done. Good. Okay. So this is how we started the stakeholder. Now let's go back to the question. The question asks us two. The question was broken into two questions. First of all, receiver, analyze our position. Are we safe in event of liquidation? Is our overdraft safe even though it's 500? But we owe 85% of the 500, right? Yes, we don't owe 100%. According to the question, the bank owes only 85%. It means that not another people also are giving them the money. So the bank accounts for 85% of the overdraft. So at least we owe the majority, right? Oh yes. So even 85% of 500 will even give us 425. We have 525 out of the 500. So it means that 425 out of the 500. It means that we have the highest one. So the bank is asking you two questions. One, please tell us our position, what will happen to us. Second, please tell us, should we accept the laws that the new management is saying we should sacrifice? How on earth should we lose 38 million? Upon securing our assets, our debt, we should lose 38 million. Okay, now let's see if it's possible. So what will be the advice? No way. They will not agree, not at all, because even if you let them lose 1 Ghana cedi upon your reconstruction, they will force into liquidation. So that is it. They will force you and push you to liquidation. They will file for liquidation, and you'll be there now and then they will liquidate you. Good. So that is it. So now the answer to the question is, first, their position will be the same as previous. You are not going to lose anything. They will get their money intact in event of liquidation. That's the first point. Second point, they should not accept the 38 loss, because the 38 million, I don't lose anything. So that is it. We are done. Let's move on to the next question. Now, in liquidation, there are two things involved. So we are proposing a scheme for reconstruction. There are 6 standard steps. So we look at these 6 standard steps today. We'll look at the first 2, and then we see if we can continue. Good. Okay. That's fine. Now let's see. So we are now with the A part of the question. And finally, we are down with the statement of liquidation. So we are going to now to prepare the reconstruction scheme. Please, in reconstruction scheme, the steps, we have 6 standard steps. They are liquidation. Have to determine whether the position event of liquidation, which you've done it. Step 2, maximum loss. Step 3, share of the loss. Step 4, resources requirement. Step 5, proposed scheme. And then step 6, resultant financial statement. Sorry, the top one wasn't coming. Good. So these are the 6, the financial position. Resultant statement of financial position. These are the 6 standard steps in the design of the scheme. Yes, that he be asking us individually. So the first question asked was liquidation. So we've already done liquidation. And now they asked us the scheme. So between this and this is the next question. And this one is the last one. So this one is the C, and this one's the B, and this one is the A. So now we have to continue for maximum loss, share of loss, resources, and then the proposed scheme. Then we are done with the B part. So that is it. Okay. So that's very good. Kindly forward all your questions. If you have any questions, let me pick it up. So we are going to do the scheme. And then we start from where? The maximum loss. So take notes. We will start from the maximum loss. Good. We will start from the maximum loss. So B is a designing of the scheme. Good. So what do we do? We have already done the first step. So determination of maximum loss. Let me write it on top here. Determination of maximum loss. So it means that if we should liquidate, if we should reconstruct, what will be the total loss we should claim from our books, our balance sheet? The sacrifice, the total sacrifice, the quantum of it, the total loss that we have to claim from the balance sheet or claim from the books. Make things look fresh, the revival. Good. Okay, so now what do you do? So we start. Now what's the accounting equation? Accounting equation is equal to the asset is equal to equity plus what? Liabilities. So now, what are the losses coming from assets? What are the losses coming from equity and losses coming from liability? These are balance sheet losses. Losses on our balance sheet. Let's clean them. Let's clean the losses. Let's clean them. And from the losses on the balance sheet, then some of the losses are coming from the footnotes. Some of the losses, they've not even captured it. If they should capture all losses, their position is very terrible. So they know that. So they've not captured all the losses. So sometimes they will still have some losses, so not on the balance sheet. It will be in a footnote. Example include reconstruction expenses, preferred dividend arrears. All these ones are examples of losses that are not captured on the balance sheet. How to get this? Good. So what do we do? So let's start with the losses coming from assets first. Now it is that they have to revalue all the assets. Oh, because we are struggling and we want to determine the total loss that we will incur. So we have to revalue all the assets so that in the new period, if God be with us and then we survive and the reconstruction goes successful, all the assets must be revalued so that we carry the new value. Because it may be due to the failing assets. So you start. You list the assets here. All the assets from the balance sheet. So assets Here is the current amount. See, let me write it down. That's the book value. Current amount. That's the book value. Then here will be what? Going concern value. Going what? Concern. Good. And then you get a maximum loss. Maximum loss. So millions. Now here, what do? You go to the balance sheet, you copy all the assets, you see all the assets, except cash. All assets except what? Cash. For this person, there's no cash, but I'm still saying it. Because when you go, it might be possible that there's cash there. But in liquidation, we add cash. But in maximum loss, because if you have 1,000 Ghana and you are going to collapse your business today, will you lose part of the 1,000 Ghana unless you presume that somebody comes and steal a bit of it? No. So that is it. Okay. So that is the game. Now let's see. So let's go to the question and pick the current amount of all the assets. The current amount of all the assets. Land and building, you have to compute the breakdown values. Breakdown. So let's copy all the current amounts. These are the current amounts. So land and building, furniture and fittings. Good. So now let's go to the board. Land and building is 2,200. Furniture is 700. Good. So yeah, land and building. Land and building. It is 2,000. Oh, I've written it in here. Okay, so to do that, I will let me send it here. So here will be the name of the assets. It's land and building. The figure is what? Oh, it's in million, sorry. Land and building is 2,200. Good. Okay. Now let's go and pick the other one. Furniture and fitting, I think it was 700 or so. 700, 800, 900. 700, 800, 900. 700, 800, 900. So 700, 800, 900. This is furniture. And then what again? Equipment, that's the 800. Then motor. Motor vehicle is what? The 900. Good. Now let's see. We finished in Okay. So now let's go back and then pick the remaining assets quickly. The remaining assets are investment property 2,500, goodwill 400, intangible 500. Okay, so investment property, goodwill, intangible 2,500, 400, and 500. So it will be 2,500, 400, and then the 500. Yes, investment property. And then intangible and goodwill. So intangible or goodwill versus intangible. Tracking first. Okay. Goodwill is 400. Good. So it's the goodwill that came first before intangible. And inventory 2 is 700. Receivable is 300. Good. So now let's go. It was the goodwill that came first. So goodwill. And then the last one is what? Intangible. The inventory. Inventory is 700. And then receivable. Why? This has explained to you. Receivable. Just that is what look and see. Not look and see, look and pick. Just look at it and then you pick it here. Bring it here. So receivable. Now it's for 300. Perfect. If there's cash, please don't bring cash. But liquidation there, yes, we want cash. So that is it. Now let's go and pick the going concern. Here today there's a rule for the going concern. Going concern values, the rule, general rule for going concern values. It's like the liquidated values now. Going concern. So here today there's a rule. First, pick the fair value because asset must be revalued. Fair value, or I will call it revalued amount. The asset must be revalued. Fair value or the revalued amount. So fair value slash what? Revalued amount. That's the first thing that you have to pick. First thing you have to pick. Second, value in use. Value in use. Hey, that pen is not coming. Oh, sorry. Okay, when you pick the 4,600 for the property, plant, and equipment, the sales value they didn't give it to us in bulk. You can't see the down, so let's go down small. Good, so that is it. Now, if you pick the total value of the property, plant, and equipment, I will explain that one. You face some little challenge. I think I will explain that when you are picking this. Now, let's see. Going concern value, first, consider fair value or revalued amount. 2, value in use. 3, NRV. And then finally, if there's no, sorry, this what is not coming clear. Three, NRV. And then finally, you now consider the for sale value. So have you seen it? So fair value or value use, NRV, for sale value. If fair value is there, you go and choose the value use of graduate value. So this is the order, and then you are done. So when you go to the footnote, please, when reading, let's pick the fair values and then or the value use or the NRVs. Good. So you go to the footnote and start picking them right now. Okay, so note 2, note 1, the second part of note 1. It has stated that on 1st July 2020, land and building has a fair value of 2,500. So the fair value is what? 2,500. How do we get that? 2,500. Good. So that's the fair value. So I'll go and put it down. And the reason why, if you put this 4,600 by not Might not be possible, or it's possible. Yes, you have to do workings. Now, the items given were given individual, or were given to us individually, not in total. So, like this, the fair value of land was given alone, 2,500 billion. Did not add it to anything before giving it to us. But if we write PP, then we have to sum all up. So you have to look for the first sale value for all these four and do one workings for it and sum it up and bring it to that of. So not first sale value, the fair value. You sum it up before you used to come and then work with the 4.6 million. How we get that? Good. So land and building is 2,500. Value used for equipment is a motor is what 750. So land and building is what 2,500. Good. So let's go back or let's go up. So good. So now let's see. Here's 2,500. But today after this one, you probably first. Now, what's the fair value of the furniture? They're saying that although the fair value of fixtures and then furniture and then fittings, although have a fair value, although has been recognized at what its fair value in a certain financial position, there are four sale values. So the fair value of the furniture and fittings will be what 700. Good. So it will be the same as the current amount. Perfect. 700. Equipment and then motor.
These three are the greatest of this. Is charity. Greatest of this is love. So follow after charity and desire spiritual gifts. And rather that, amen. Now look at this. We go back to there.
Okay, so that is it. So 700 for equipment, motor for 800. Okay, so equipment is 750. Motor is what? 800. Investment property will be 2650. Good. So now let's do what? Goodwill. Now let's get big goodwill. And they say it's worthless, so dash. No fair value, dash. Goodwill is worthless. So the fair value or the going concern is dash. It does not have any going concern. Good. Or not given. So it will be dash. Intangible. Okay, they are here. Good. You've done it here. Intangible is 200. Perfect. Inventory. And then so Inventory, if note 4, inventory can only be realized for 3 million. So that is it. I like that. 380 and then 240. So 380 and then 240. Now we are done with the items. Now let's go and calculate the loss. $380 and then 240. This 240 is the 80% of 300. Now let's find the loss. How do you get a loss? Now all the loss will be positive. Bracket means negative. Don't even worry yourself whether to know whether it's loss or gain. All you have to do is least minus this carrying amount less the going concern. If the answer is positive, leave it positive. If the answer is negative, leave it negative. So 2,200 less 2,500. So negative 300. Put it in bracket. It means that it's a gain, and we are using it to offset some of the loss. Good. And here will be dash. And here will be 50. And here we got 100. And here we 150 negative. Agreed. Okay. Just give it to 380. Perfect. Okay. So this and this 300. Here is 400 though. And here 300. This and this 320. This and this 140. This is the maximum loss. Negative means it's a gain. We are using to offset the loss. Which was the total loss. The total maximum loss coming from assets. This is not overall maximum loss. These are the losses coming from where? Assets. What are the losses coming from assets? Losses coming from assets. Losses come from assets to be summing all up. This is what you get. Summing all up. Receivable is 60. Hey, I didn't bring it there. It's true. Yeah. Like sorry, like I see you too. Sorry. Putting all together, minus 300 plus 50 plus 100 plus 150. Answer. So it's 780. Okay, the answer is there. Sorry, 780. So these are the losses that are on our balance sheet. These are the losses that are on our balance sheet. Good. So now let's go to losses that are in a footnote, or losses that on the we are now on the asset. These are assets. We go to equity. Is the income surplus? Always the income surplus must be written off. Especially, it's always negative. What is negative? So what's the income surplus here? So the income surplus. Let me step him down. Now shifted up a little. 320 and then the 60. So I can get some space, 780. So right there. Income surplus. The figure is all things for one question. No, it's not reached anywhere. In fact, let me be. Straightforward. In fact, this one items are many, but it's a bit straightforward. That's why. Your question might not be like that. Those like put all of them together. So even like how the PP is, all this will be sum up and give it to you 4,600. So something like that. Okay. So the income surplus is 7,100. Agreed. So 7,100 negative. So you only come you add. So you add. So 7,100. So these are the losses on the balance sheet. Then go to losses coming from the footnote. Losses coming from the footnote. First, the dividend in arrears. So preference dividend in arrears. How do you calculate the dividend? Preferred dividend in arrears. How many years in arrears? 3 years. Preferred dividend is in arrears for how many years? 3 years. So you'll be on bracket in the calculation. Let's go to the book. The preferred dividend is in 3 years in arrears. What's the preferred dividend? 12% on this value, 1,005. So to be the 12% multiplied by what? The 1,005 for 3 years. Please, the 7,100 is the income surplus or the retained earnings in the financial position. Good. So to be the 12% times the value 1,005 times 3 years in arrears. And they said that will give us 540, right? What again? Another loss. These are the losses coming from the balance sheet. Let's go to losses coming from the footnote. What's the reorganization cost? Let's go into the reconstruction cost. Okay. So now the liquidation expenses, not liquidation, the reorganization. It's a why the reorganization expenses will be 30 million. Good. So 30 million. Now let's continue again. 30 million. I think that's all. So we call it reorganization expenses or costs. Reconstruction costs. Reconstruction cost. What's the total maximum loss? Financer. Hey, look at where the reconstruction costs. But these are reconstruction costs. Okay. This was the total loss. Total maximum. This is overall maximum loss. Losses coming from asset, losses coming from equity. 8450. Perfect. 8450. Good. So you got the total maximum loss. Total maximum. Now, this is the loss that they will have to claim from the books if they want to reorganize. When this loss is cleared from the books, the company will be revived, become new, or the company will be born again. Now, the decision to liquidate or reconstruct lies between two items. We are saying that with the reconstruction, the business is failing, the company is what? Failing. So we are making consistent losses. So what do we do? Either we have to liquidate or we have to reconstruct. So if you want to liquidate, you have to compare the losses. Assuming that if we say we should liquidate the losses, let's say a liquidation, let's use this example. Please sum all the total loss on the last working for us. The last work that we did, what was the total loss that we had from liquidation? Putting all loss coming from the various stakeholders. Shareholders look that they are losing 8,000. Ordinary shares 9,000, 1,500. So putting all together, this is what you get. Please, what do you get? Kindly go to the table, the analysis of the stakeholder or the analysis of the stakeholders, and then sum up all the loss per liquidation that we had, where the bank overdraft, they did not lose anything. Kindly sum it up for me, and then let's see the figure, so that we compare and make decision whether the bank or whether the company should go for reconstruction or not. Yeah, the losses from the footnote, the 3 items. No, the 2 items, loss from the footnote. It's 9620, right? Kindly add the 540 to it, the loss from the preferred dividend. 540, kindly add it to it for me. What do you get? So I get the total loss. So I'll do the analysis here. Kindly add the 540 to it for me, then I'll do the analysis. Good. Okay. So this is what you do. Okay, please, what is number? What do you get? Kindly add the 542 because this 540 is a preference dividend in arrears. 540, kindly add it to the loss, the total loss per liquidation for me, and then so that we will end soon, and then we will continue. Good. Good. 10,160. So upon liquidation, what's the total loss? Oh, this side is not coming. So upon liquidation, so loss per liquidation, total loss when the company should collapse right now. The total loss is what? 10,160. If you want to reconstruct, what's the total loss per reconstruct or the maximum loss? Loss per reconstruction. That's this guy. This figure. The 8450. So make a decision. Should they collapse or they should reconstruct? That's it. So you realize that the loss per reconstruction, this is the maximum loss. It's a bit what? Lesser than the loss per liquidation, because sometimes liquidation is not an easy job at all. So to your decision, should the company continue with the capital reduction scheme or they should stop immediately? So that's the decision. And that will be our last aspect for the day. But I want to answer before I end the session for now, and we will continue small like this until we finish all the questions one after the other. So I get the idea and of it. Then should the company go ahead and continue the reconstruction or they should liquidate, and why? So anytime they ask you a question, should the company liquidate or they should reconstruct, it means that they're asking you to compare the total maximum loss to that of the total liquidation loss, and you decide. So here they have to do what? They have to reorganize, because the loss per reconstruction is a bit lower or cheaper than the loss per what? The liquidation. Good. So that is it. Any question for me? Good. So I think we will end here for now, for today, and then we will continue the session, God willing, tomorrow, if possible. Yes, tomorrow we will continue the session. Good. So still continue the practice. Yes. Still what? Continue the practice. The practice of the question is the key. So that is it. Okay, any question for me before we end this chapter for the day? Good. Any question for me before we end the chapter for the day? Any question? Good, there's a question here for me. Okay. Wow, interesting. Okay. So if there's no question, please, which question? I thought I've answered you. So you. Please, which question? Kindly copy the question again and paste it and send it. I think I've answered. Let me go through and see. Okay. Please. Yes, they are the same every question. Good. I've seen your question now. They are the same. Each and every question that you pick, once you are calculating the maximum loss, look for losses coming from assets that's on the balance sheet, losses that are in a footnote, and you are done. Okay, someone's hand is up. So let's hear the person. Good. Someone's hand is up. Good. The 1060. This 1060, we had 9. Let me pick the figures. Yeah. Good. We had the total loss per liquidation. We had 960. Let me do here. We have 9620. Then we added the next 540 to it. Why? It's also loss. That one, just that loss is a loss on the dividend, preferred dividend in arrears. It's also loss. So that's why we added it to the 960. So plus 4, and that gives us a 10,160. So this is the total loss upon liquidation. So upon liquidation, the preferred shareholders will lose their amount, and then they will also lose the dividend in arrears. Good. So that is it. Please, I hope you get it. Okay, let me kindly ask the question. I've omitted you, so omit yourself and then ask the question. Good.
I'm Fred.
Yes, please.
The question I wanted to ask is what I typed.
Oh, okay, that's fine. So it's okay now, right?
Yes, please.
That's fine. Okay. Okay, so that's the end of today's session. Thank you very much for coming. Have a nice day. And don't forget to...
Fred.